Hi everyone. In the last lecture, we have studied what is list data structure. So in this lecture, what we will do, we will implement or we can say we will solve problems and we will implement a solution using Python programming languages. So I'm starting with the basics problem and then we will move to the harder problem. So now let's see the problem statement. Basically, we need to write a Python function or you can say Python program uh, where let's suppose if user is giving this input, okay, user is giving 12, 35, 9, 56 and 24. Okay, so this will be our input. So when we give this list as an input to our function, our output will be like this number and this number should be swapped. Okay. Basically, we are swapping our first number to the last number. Okay. Uh, I hope you are able to get the problem statement. Okay, so now it's time to implement it. Okay. I'm not considering any time complexity here. Okay, so hope you can get my point. So if you're new to the time complexity, in short, I can tell you how much time it will take to execute that particular task. Okay. I can give you one more example. For an example, there is a list 12, 11, 1, 2, 6, 4. And if I will say that, where is 4? Okay. So if you apply for loop, okay, so it will search one by one. So it take at least, it need to process at least n element to get that uh, key actually. Okay, so there is a order of n uh, is a time complexity in this case. Okay, this is a worst scenario. But if element is available at the first index, it will be order of 1. So basically, we are trying to compare like how much time it will take to execute that particular task. So in this problem statement, we are not caring about like how much time it will take. We are just focusing on how we can use the concept of list data structure to solve this problem. Okay, let's come to the problem statement again. So basically, we want to swap the first number and the last number. Okay, so before writing any program, always write the logic. Okay, so basically what we're doing, okay, let me take the simplest example. We have this as an input 1, 2, 3, and we want, sorry, we want to replace this one. How we can do it? It's very simple. Okay, uh, let me do like this. If I'm using any temporary variable temp, and I'm taking this element, I'm storing here. Okay, and then what I'm doing, so this position is empty, let's suppose. So okay, this is not empty, but I'm replacing this element with 3. Okay, and then this element, okay, this last element I'm replacing with this temporary one actually. So in short, let's write the code for it. So define uh, swap number. Okay, and this function will take list, okay, as an input. So what we're doing, we need a one temporary variable here. So in the temporary variable, what we're doing, we're storing the first value of list. So how we can get the first value of the list? So that means we want index 0 value. And then what we're doing, so at index 0, what we're doing, so basically we're swapping. So at index 0, we are taking the last element. And you know that how you can get the last element of the list in Python, we use -1. Okay, so to get them, and then the last one you are replacing with the temp one, and then you are returning the new list. Okay, so now if let's call this function, and what we will do, we will pass the list. Okay, so I'm passing here 1, 2 and 3. So now see, this 1 and 3 are swapped to each other. Okay, so now you got my point. But what will happen if I will pass empty list? Okay, okay, because you are not handling those cases. So whenever we go for any interviews, okay, so we always write a function which can also handle the age cases basically. Okay, so let me write those condition also. Okay, so first I'm condition I'm saying that if length is a inbuilt function in Python which tell what will be the length of your list. Okay, so basically any iterable object. Okay, so length take as a input as a any iterable object. So and then based on that thing, it will tell you that what will be the length of that object. Okay, so here this I'm comparing that if length is 0, then do this thing. Okay, I'm just copying it and pasting over it. Okay, okay, so this is going to happen. Else we can say that you can say any message. I'm saying that empty list. Okay, so you can say anything. So now if you see, so you can see that like here you are passing empty. So I hope you got my point actually. So this is a very basics program. Okay, this is not any hard. Okay, so basically what is a learning point here? So when we are doing like when we're learning about list data structure. Okay, so in this from this code, okay, so you learn two things. One is like that how you access the element from the list. Okay, that is one of the important stuff. Okay, access if element is available at index 2. Okay, let's suppose if I am changing the problem statement. Okay, so replaced last second and first one. Okay, so based on that you should understand like how to access the element of the list actually. So from this code you can learn those things. Okay, so let's move to the next problem statement. Okay, so just a minute here. Okay, so now we have the same problem but with a different flavor. Basically what we're doing here, we need to write a uh, uh, Python function where we are getting input two things now. One is list, other is earlier what we're doing actually. So we are just swapping first number and last number. But now if you want to build a functionality where you can swap any two desirable number. Okay, so for that reason we are going to implement it actually. So it's very similar like what we implemented earlier. Okay, it's nothing different. Okay, so what we're doing actually, let's write the code. Okay, so first I will write a simple code, then we will handle the boundary cases also. So define sorry, I'm just writing a function defining so let me write the swap index. And this function will take three things as a input. One will be your list, other will be your position 1, other will be position 2, and then based on that you are doing some operation. So basically again you are swapping it, but uh, just instead of going with last and first, it could be anything. So again we will use one variable temporary, and in the temporary what we will do, we'll take the list and we will store the position 1 value. Okay, and then what we will do, so position 1 value will be replaced by position 2 value. Okay, and then position 2 value will be replaced by position 1, which we have already stored into the temporary variable. Okay, so this will be your temp. Okay, and now what we're doing, we're returning it. So this will be our list. Okay, uh okay, good. Okay, so now what we will do, we will pass our input. Okay, so this function required 2 input. So one will be our list which we need to swap. So here just to make things easy, I am passing 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so this will be list and the position 2 and 3. Okay, uh now let's call this function. See here, you can see here we are able to uh, swap the number. Okay, so basically we have 1 2 3 4 and 5. So if you see the sorry, if you read the index 0 1 2 3 and 4, so basically what we are saying, replace this with this actually. So that is replaced. Okay, okay, so like we are not handling the any age cases. Okay, but this code is working. Okay, we are able to swap the number. Okay, uh here let's suppose if I'll pass 5. Okay, uh 5, you are getting index error because 5 like you're trying to access some element of the list which is not available basically. Okay, so we need to handle these things. Okay, uh so here what we're doing, uh if okay, position 2, I'm just going with the 2, you can write both 1 and 2 is less than length of lst, then do the remaining operation. Okay, hope I'm making some sense. So if it's not, you can return anything. Okay, okay, just to make sim okay, okay, so now see, you are saying anything, you are you are passing any stupid thing, you are getting something. Okay, like we are able to handle it. Hope now you got the idea. Okay, so let's move to the next problem statement. So now next problem, so as an input we have list. So we need to write a Python code or a function where we can track that how many even number are there or odd number are there in the given list basically. So we need to develop a function. So it will take list as an input, it will process it, and then based on that it will give you two output. One will be like even count, other will be the odd count. Okay, so let's implement it. So uh, I hope you know the logic how to understand like if number is even or odd basically. So if you're dividing with 2 with that number, okay, and the remainder is coming 0, so in this case you can say that given things like given number is a even number. Okay, so now let's implement it. And okay, so if you're not a beginner, okay, so this would be very boring session for all of you, but if you're a beginner, okay, so this is very useful session for you. Okay, so defining, so I'm writing a function. Okay, so here I'm saying that even odd count, and here we need a list as an input, and then what we like basically we are going to track two things. Okay, sorry, so here I'm not writing any advanced code. What I'm doing actually, I'm going with the simplest one approach. Okay, uh, okay, so just to explain the logic basically, so let's suppose 2 7 5 64 and 14. So what we're doing actually, we need to count like how many even or odd number here in this particular list. So we are taking one element out. Okay, and we're dividing with 2, if remainder is coming 0, what we're saying, we are saying that even number going to be like even or odd will be the two in global variable which is initialized with the 0. So if it is true, I will increment by 1. Okay, now next 7. So which is not equivalent, like this is not going to be the 0, the remainder is not going to be the 0. So in this case, this even number is not going to be the increment, odd number will be increment by 1. Okay, now if I will pull out the 5, so again the remainder is not going to be the 0, so again this will be increment by 2. Next 64 I will pull out, and then I will do the same things. So what is going to happen here, again we are not going to get that remainder as a 0, so again this will be increment. No, sorry, remainder will be 0, so this will be increment. In the next case, again I will pull out the 14, and again the remainder will be 0, so this will be 3. Okay, so the final output will be like 2 odd number is there and 3 even number is there. Okay, so basically what we are doing, we're iterating the list. Okay, basically, so how you can iterate the list, so you can use while loop or for loop. Okay, so whatever you feel like comfortable, you can go with this thing. So here in this program, I'm just applying simple for loop to solve this problem. So for the assignment or for the practice purpose, you can use a while loop also. Okay, and like time complexity for this program is going to be the order of n. Okay, and okay, okay, so now let's implement it. Just a minute. Okay, let's implement it. So what we need two variable, even count. Okay, so we can say global, or you can say anything, and there is no need to specify it, but I'm specifying here or count 0. And then what we're doing actually, for I in, we are iterating the list. Okay, so we are taking list. Okay, and then what we're doing basically, if value, so if we're picking 2, so if it is a divisible by 2, okay, if it is a divisible by, so I'm really sorry. So what we will do, we will increase this count by 1. Okay, so I'm not writing any complex code here, so I'm going with the simplest one, because someone will write this statement with a different way. Okay, I'm not doing this thing. If it is not true, what we're doing, we are increasing the odd count. Okay, so let me increase this one. Once we will finish this condition, what we will do, we will return the final count. Okay, so let's return the even count, and then we'll return the odd count. Okay, so if you had that's global variable, you cannot do like this, and then in the next statement you can define it. Okay, okay, so this is not a good way to define it, because if you're writing global, so first define it, then initialize the value. Okay, so let me remove it, it will be the better for us. Okay, and now what we will do, we will pass, like, let me define the variable, sorry, list. Okay, let me just copy this, so it will make our job easy. Okay, and then what we will do, we will call the function. Okay, so let's call this function. Okay, so what's going to happen now, you can see we are getting 3 odd and, so if I will pass one more odd, so now see, if I will say 9, see, and if I will say one more 9, see, if I will say let's remove this one and make it 7, see, if I am saying let's suppose 5, so again this is going to happen. What if I'm passing -1, Okay, if I'm passing -2. Okay, so that's working here. Okay, so hope we're able to solve the problem. Okay, so this is all about list. So this is a very basic question which we solved. And the next video we are going to solve some intermediate problem using list concept.